I'm Rick Murrow from Air Academy Associates, and I welcome you to today's tutorial on A3 thinking and A3 reporting. A3 can help an organization in its pursuit of performance excellence. Performance excellence is not achieved overnight. Rather, it takes hard work and some key ingredients. Essential requirements include an organizational strategy that establishes the vision that is necessary to accomplish the mission and is understood by all. Roles, responsibility, and accountability are clearly understood by all levels. An awareness of the need to improve, the goals for improvement, and the organizational plan to achieve that improvement. The deployment of an improvement methodology that can be easily operationalized and then accepted by those in the organization, while not being seen as temporary, but as culture changing. A3 thinking can flourish in an organization that has embraced the requirements stated in the previous slide. To begin our discussion, it is important to first talk about the origins of A3 thinking. A3 was first deployed by Toyota Production Systems. It was designed to foster a sense of trust between management and the process workers, promoting efficiency in a system which fostered respect for all humanity, especially those within the organization. A3 was named after the international paper size on which it was designed to fit, that being 11 inches by 17 inches. The A3 was designed by Toyota management to be more than just a reporting system. It was crafted to promote teamwork, recognizing that when people apply their unique skills to a problem, they often create more effective solutions than independent workers. In addition, teamwork most often improves employee relations. It enhances problem-solving capability. It promotes continuous improvement mindset, which doesn't always require formal improvement events. It fosters knowledge exchange and collaboration amongst the team members. A free flow of ideas and discussion which increases effective communication within the team as well as the work unit in general. A culture change where individuals and work units embrace the need for improvement and then work to achieve it. So what is A3? A3 is a philosophy which links the organizational strategy to the process level while seeking alignment at all levels. Promotes teamwork and collaborative effort over individual efforts, the success of which is largely dependent upon the manager. It encourages logical thinking or reasoning skills basing decision making on factual data. A3 is a process which has input, output, and activity take place. It can be represented by an input process output diagram, which you learned in Greenbelt training. As a good review of the structure of an IPO, we will look at one for A3 thinking and the A3 report. The customer for this IPO is the person requiring that A3 be accomplished. Typically, this is the process owner or manager. The output of A3 thinking and the report is an improvement effort or project that has been completed timely while meeting the requirements of the process owner, which is reported in the appropriate format on time, accurately, and thoroughly. The input includes many factors, each having varying degrees of impact on achieving the desired output. For this example, we see that the factors include leadership, management, location and work unit, resources, procedures, equipment, team members, patient impact, and other input factors. To best achieve improvement that impacts the patient, managers must become the champions of patient needs. They become the drivers of real improvement, and they should work with process workers as partners to develop better methods to achieve better results. A3 is a mechanism and an opportunity for management to increase individual competence while enhancing team capability. Align strategy from top level work units and their processes. Allow team as well as individual growth through plan-based trial and error. Promote the use of data, measurements, and the collection and analysis of that data. Teach the use of lagging and leading indicators, and we will address this in a subsequent tutorial. A3 thinking includes documentation and reporting. It is normal that the organization determines the key properties and requirements of the A3 report. This document is supported and used by the organization at all levels. It is streamlined and organized visual summary of the problem and solution. It's a standard template format. It adds structure and discipline to the improvement process. It's regularly reviewed or should be reviewed and approved by management. A3 showcases the work and progress made by the process improvement team. It highlights a problem-solving improvement methodology. The two most commonly used are Plan, Do, Study, Act, PDSA, and Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control, or DMAIC. DMAIC is the Vision Lean approach. This slide shows the tools most commonly used in the 5 phases of DMAIC. It is not an all-inclusive list, nor does it imply that the tools listed can't be used in multiple phases. It is good for the user to comply with what I call the most sense rule. In other words, use the tools that make the most sense to use on that particular problem. That rule encourages the use of the least complex tool that provides the information needed to answer the question or give the information needed to make a decision. This is the template that Vision One is using. It is divided into the segments corresponding to the phases of DMAIC. The tools that are listed in each phase are those which are typically seen in a service or transactional process improvement effort. The listing does not imply that a team can't use other tools that are listed in the previous slide. From the time each of us were young, we learned that one can gain knowledge by answering questions. The questions that are segmented in each of the blocks, when completely answered, allow us to move to the next phase in the DMAIC methodology. Here we see some questions in the define phase. Basically, what does this patient want? What measurements capture that? Is there a problem that we need to fix? In the measure phase, what is the current capability and what measures do we use to determine the health of the process? In the analyze phase, if there is a current gap that exists between the patient wants and what our process delivers, what is the root cause of that gap? Not the symptoms, but what is the root cause? In the improve phase, what can we do to improve the process? What measurements do we drive? How do we decide the best options available to us? Lastly, in the control phase, how do we sustain the gain? How do we keep from going back to where we were when we began the process improvement effort? The question that might be asked is, how do we use the A3 report? What action does the A3 report drive? The answer is, the A3 drives action at all levels. Leadership uses the A3 in the mission control room. As you view this slide, you can see that what they use it for is to see the answers to the questions that are asked in each of the phases of the methodology that is used to improve the process. What is the project and the measurements of interest? What's the current state of the improvement effort or project? What were the root causes of the gap and what are the countermeasures? What help is needed to successfully complete the project? At the service level, and unit level A3 reports are displayed on the weekly improvement board. They're used to review the status of improvement, ideas, and projects, DMAIC as well as PDSA. At the Lean Six Sigma project team, green belt and black belt levels, it is used to review and monitor the all-important process measures, display and manage team progress in working through DMAIC process, meet certification requirements for green belt and black belt, and provide high-level summary of project progress throughout each tollgate review. Tollgate reviews are important. They involve the manager and process owner and team members. They keep the project on course at all times. The completion of each phase is determined as the toll gates. There are questions that should be answered in order to progress to the next phase. In the future, we will end subsequent tutorials which address the 5 phases of DMAIC by answering a set of questions. The answer to these questions determine the current state of the improvement effort. As we end this A3 tutorial, I can sum it all up by saying the A3 drives appropriate action at each level of the organization and at each phase of process improvement. I'd like to thank you for attending this tutorial today and look forward to the future ones coming up. Thank you very much.